Hey, what's up everybody out there? It's Timothy here with Manorox, and you'll notice we are on Moto, not Arena this time, because we are doing a Phantom Modern Horizons draft. I am practicing for, I guess they're not called Grand Prix anymore. I'm practicing for MagicFest DC, which is coming up next weekend, and I've got to kind of get my feet underneath me here. This is Phantom, so I'm not worried about money, and this is not Arena, so I don't have infinite time to talk about things. The cards that stand out here are the rare, which I think can really just get somebody. It destroys all creatures that came into play that turn, but you can free cast it on your opponent's turn by exiling a black card. There is Squirrel's Nest, which just lets one of your lands tap to make 1/1s. And then I like this card, Irregular Cohort, because it fits into so many different decks. There's also Reprobation, decent removal spell. The ninjas are all pretty good. Nantuko Cultivator's kind of a nice little value card for green-red, but I don't think you're first picking that card. And then obviously Munitions Expert is great, but there aren't actually a lot of goblins floating around this set. I do think I'm going to try out my rare. Practice makes perfect, right? And try out the rares when I have the chance. If I were in the GP right now, I might take Squirrel's Nest or the Cohort, but I think our rare is good if we end up black. Goblin to follow up with. We got some mana fix in here. Fist of Flame is okay as an aggressive card. Here's another Irregular Cohort. Again, the Changelings, the way I approach these kinds of formats, like a master set, is I like to pick up the cards early that fit into multiple archetypes. Like this can fit in the black-white, but it can also be good in the sliver deck. It can be good in the green-white creature fall deck, if you will. So it fits in a bunch of different decks, whereas something like, I don't know, Goblin Matron fits in basically one deck. Phantom Ninja's good. Like, a lot of these cards are good, right? But this has the more likely chance of just making it into my deck in a bunch of different archetypes, whereas something like this will only make one archetype. So I'm going to take the Irregular Cohort here. It's 2 white for a 2/2, and it makes another Changeling. 2 Changelings is pretty good here. Standout cards from this pack: Mana War, always good, always solid, really good with the ninjas. Krosan Tusker can enable some splash in, also just a good value card. You cycle it. It's basically 3 mana to draw a card and get a basic land, which is good. The snow-covered lands, note that if you do end up in like a snow deck, quote-unquote, that you do actually have to prioritize taking those snow cards, which includes basic lands. Winter's Rest, very good removal spell if you end up in a snow archetype, but pretty poor otherwise. I'm looking at Mana War mostly here. Unearth is fine. Ward-Eye Witch is pretty subpar in this set, I think. I like Knight of Old Benalia. It does go good with the Irregular Cohort, but I like staying open for now. I'm going to take the Mana War, what I consider probably the best card in the pack. Alright, there's Headless Spectre. This one makes your opponent discard a card at random if it hits them while you have no cards in your hand. Here's another Cohort. I think this is just good. I like Recruit the Worthy. A lot of the green and white creatures will want you to constantly have creatures enter in the battlefield, and this is a good way to make sure you always have a creature coming in. And there's also Secluded Step, but I don't know for a fact I'm playing white yet, so I'm a little hesitant to take this one. Also note this card's good in blue-white, which has kind of a blink archetype to it. So yeah, I'll take another Cohort. That's the third one we've seen. Altar of Dementia. I don't know how good this rare is. There's Smoke Shroud, which is a ninja card. We don't really have any ninjas yet. I don't like this card unless you're exactly red-black and you have a couple Goat Naps. Imposter of the Sixth Path, one of the weaker changelings in the set, but still a changeling. Lancer Sliver, fine. It does give my Irregular Cohorts first strike, which matters. And then Face of Divinity, which seems like kind of a trap card. The removal is good enough in this set that I don't really want to be running this. I'm going to take Altar of Dementia and see if that ends up going anywhere. We still don't have a direction here. I am seeing a lot of white and a lot of blue. But that archetype's a blink archetype, and we don't really have a lot to go with that. Now here's Tribute Mage. This is 3 mana 2/2, fetches up an artifact with exactly mana cost 2, which currently gets Altar of Dementia, and it can also get the whatchamacallits, the talismans, if we happen to pick any of those up. So I think that's going to be my pick here. Altar of Dementia is not exactly insane, but this card can win a game if you can stall it out long enough. You sacrifice a creature and mill your opponent equal to that creature's power. And I don't really see any other reason to move anything else. This is a card that I don't know how good it is. It attacks as a 3/3, but you have to constantly be pumping mana into it. And Universal Automaton. Pillage, Goat Nap, Spectre. I'm not really on the Angel plan here. There's nothing in this pack I'm super excited about. I do think Spinehorn Minotaur is good. And I'm still not forced into a color here. Red-black. Yeah, I definitely don't think it's the Spinehorn Minotaur into another color, so it's probably the Spectre. Putrid Goblin seems fine. Reasonable with Altar of Dementia. This card's also good if you're going to have a bunch of creatures to sacrifice, but I don't think we're going to be going down that route. Spectre's actually pretty bad if you don't have... I guess it's not bad. It does have flying, right? All right, Font of Ichor. This becomes a 3/3, fixes your colors. Reprobation's probably going to be my pick. It just shuts down a creature, turns it into cowards, and they lose all abilities, makes it a 0/1. And then I'm sure you can draft some sort of a snow deck around this little mill guy. In fact, Buddy Nick kind of did that. I don't like Throes of Chaos. You're paying 4 mana to always get something that costs less than 4. So Reprobation is definitely the best card in the pack, but Fountain of Ichor could enable some splashes. All right, another reprobation. It's also Eye Kite. If you've drawn more than one card, it gets +2/+0. Are we going to be regularly drawing more than one card? Doesn't seem like it yet, right? Also got to decide whether we're going to be black-white or blue-white. I think I'm just going to stick to another reprobation because it looks like we're probably ending up white for sure, and we're still deciding on the other color. All right, this turns 2 creatures into 3/3s. It cantrips, and they gain flying. There's also Return from Extinction, which returns a creature to your hand or returns a creature and another creature that shares a creature type with it to your hand. That could be a good little value card with these shapeshifters here. Looks like we're leaning away from the blue, though. All right, Ward-Eye Witch is going to be the pick here. I don't really like Wall of 1,000 Cuts. All right, looks like black-white. Maybe Splash and Blue for Mana Ward. Probably not for Tribute Mage. All right, this is a fine card. It's not really that good, actually, but it's fine. Face of Divinity as well. Prohibit's a decent spell. There's also Amorphous Axe. I'm going to take the Aura, although I don't think I'm going to play it. All right, we can try out this Farmstead Gleaner. And we got a last pick, Pillage. All right, Force of Negation does not actually counter creature spells. I don't like this one for limited as much, but I admit it's probably a fine card just as a cancel. Battle Screech is really good and probably going to be my pick here. 4 mana to make 2 1/1 flyers. You can flash it back by tapping 3 untapped white creatures to make 2 more 1/1 flyers. Don't want this card unless you're exactly blue-black with a bunch of ninjas. This one's good. What else is here? Mob. Good removal spell. 5 mana, destroy a creature, convoke. Is Battle Screech better than Mob? Probably, right? Battle Screech just can get in there, especially if we end up with a way to mass pump our board or something like that. Let's go ahead and move the blue cards over. Altar of Dimension doesn't really seem like something we're going to play here either, unless we end up with a bunch of ways to recur our creatures. Tranquil Thicket. I like Answered Prayers too. Whenever a creature comes into play, you can turn this into a 3/3 Flying Angel, and you also gain a life. It's a decent amount of value. This is a pick I'm not sure about, but I do think I'm going to take Battle Screech over Mob. All right, Zalfrin Decoy. This is a tapper that you can only activate if a creature came into play that turn. So good with things like Recruit the Worthy. Igneous Elemental stands out as a decent card. Also Trumpet and Herd. 4 mana, 3/3 Elephant with Rebound and get another one. So cards I'm interested in, Recruit the Worthy, Return from Extinction. The Decoy I think is going to be my pick here. And then we'll definitely go creature heavy here. I still don't know about Altar. Like, note that a lot of these spells are going to produce creatures some amount of the time. I don't think we're going to end up playing these little auras here. Soul Strike Technique, pretty weak. I think the Decoy is probably the best pick over Recruit the Worthy. Follow that up. I like Watcher for tomorrow quite a bit. There's Diabolic Edict, which is probably just okay, right? Edicts normally aren't that great, but cheap edicts can usually get a valuable creature. There are just so many token-based archetypes or ways to make little creatures that I don't think this is going to be an all-star. First Sphere Gargantua is a card I'm interested in. 6 mana, 5/4, you draw a card and lose a life when it comes into play, and then it has Unearth for 2 and a black. Trusty Scout. Kind of one of those like Squadron Hawk type creatures. Don't think you want to go too far in on that. And then there's Martyr Soul, which is really good if you can get a bunch of early game creatures out. Kind of leaning towards this Gargantua. Seems really good with Altar of Dementia. Also just seems like a decent value card on its own. Yeah, let's go ahead and take that. Seems like a decent pick. Ooh, Ranger Captain of Eos, also Baron Moore. Do we have anything this gets? Converted mana cost 1. We don't. But it is a 3 mana 3/3. You can sacrifice it to stop your opponent's non-creature spells for the turn. Rank Officer seems like a nice little value card as well. At its best in green-black, I'm sure. Baron Moore's fine as well. So we can take Ranger Captain and then maybe try to find like a decent 1-drop to fit in the deck. I'm not sure what those are, but I want to try it out just as a 3-mana 3/3. Here we go, Valiant Changeling. This one's good. Also Gluttonous Slug, which I think is one of the all-star commons of this set. But we're going to take Valiant Changeling. So this is a 3/3 double striker Changeling that costs 1 less to cast for each creature type among the creatures you control. So if you have a Changeling out, this just costs white to put it on the battlefield. And we have... It is also a Changeling itself. It's pretty good with Return from Extinction and stuff like that as well. I want the Gluttonous Slug, but I think I'm just going to take the Valiant Changeling. Generous Gift, I think, is probably a little bit overrated by the Commander community. Maybe we take Changeling Outcast. Or, I mean, we could do the Universal Automaton, which can enable a turn 2 Valiant Changeling, but I do think the Outcast is better, even though this isn't really good unless you're abusing it in some way, and we're definitely not abusing it. It's not like we have anything super crazy that it works with. It is something to fetch up with the Ranger Captain. Didn't really think about that. Is that better than this thing? Maybe we end up with a Ninja, and I'll want this Changeling Outcast. Ooh, Splicer Skill, I like that one. I also like Ephemerate. Shelter's a nice little combat trick. I'm tempted to take Splicer Skill. 3 mana 3/3 again. But for 4 mana, if you have any cheap instants or sorceries, you can Splice. I don't think Splice is going to come up, so I don't think I should rate that. I'm going to take Shelter. This is a nice protection spell that you can get value off of. Give yourself protection from a color. Okay, Recruit the Worthy. Nice little pickup here. Wouldn't mind Headless Spectre. And if we were drafting in real life, I would probably take this foil, but it wouldn't be in the pack, so. Recruit the Worthy it is, followed up by another Putrid Goblin. Again, wouldn't be in the pack. Alright, Putrid Goblin's nice. Another Recruit the Worthy. I'm not sure that these really get better in multiples, but we will take it here over some of the cards we're definitely not playing. Alright, Martyr Soul or Diabolic Edict? I have virtually no removal. I guess I have the Reprobations. That's really bad with Diabolic Edict, so I'm going to take the Martyr's Soul. Rank Officer. Nice little grindy card. Alright, I kind of like where this is going. This could also be decent. 2 mana for +2/+2. For 6 mana, you can give everything +2/+2. And Generous Gift seems fine as well. Even if you use this on your own creature, maybe they put a Reprobation on one of your guys and you kill it. Ooh, also a Snow-Covered Swamp. Definitely white-black. Note that the white-black kind of archetype is based around Changeling, and we're not really abusing that. Alright, pack 3. What do we got here? I love this card. I think this card's great if you get to untap with it. Cabal Therapist lets you sack a creature on your pre-combat main phase. It's not on upkeep. Interesting. And then you choose a card name and your opponent reveals their hand. It Cabal Therapies them, right? Again, I'm tempted to take rares here, mostly to kind of try things out and see where it goes. There is Smiting Helix, and I don't have a lot of removal. I don't know that I can splash red to flash it back, but it is 4 mana to just deal 3 to something. I do want to try the rares out, though. Again, this is practice. And again, I can fetch this up with our whatchamacallit, our Ranger Captain. Ooh, this is a card. Conjurer's Closet, basically. Also, Rot Widow Pack. These are both very good, but the splashing is not strong with this one. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to get anything we're super excited about. We could take Rock's Veteran. It's a tapper when it attacks, also has Battle Cry, which means your other attacking creatures get +1/+0 when this attacks. So it attacks pretty well. It enables kind of the go wide strategy. Rank Officer, another card that doesn't really get better in multiples. I do like that there's not a lot of just like fantastic mana fixing, so you can get rewarded with cards like this. Like, Soul Herder is just nuts, but I guess I'll go ahead and take this Veteran. Abominable Tree Folk for whoever happens to be drafting that deck. This Snow deck. Alright, I'll take a Diabolic Edict here. Yeah, I don't really want another Changeling Outcast, and I don't think this Angel really does anything for us. So I'll take this, but might not main deck it with the, what are they called? Reprobations. This one splashes for red. Another Martyr Soul, another Officer. There's Cave of Temptation. This is kind of a Shimmer and Grotto, if you will, that has a little bit of extra value on it. I don't think I'm going to get that Helix back, so I'm not sure I should put a premium on having red mana fixin', but I don't know that I'm playing anything else here. Maybe Martyr Soul number 2? We could probably get that out on turn 3 pretty consistently, I think. You have to have 3 creatures, I guess. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take it. Alright, Sisay, despite being a sweet commander card, is just not what you want for limited, unless somehow you end up with smooth 5-color mana fixin' and a bunch of legendary permanents. Also, I don't know how often you get to play this card. Enduring Sliver, fine bear, that has a little bit of late game value. Could also take the Fountain of Ichor. This is probably just fine to play as a beater, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Sliver. Ooh, another Dominable Treefolk, and another Reprobation. Oh, Sadistic Obsession. This could be sweet. You pay black. It enchants a creature, you pay black, and that taps to put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm going to try it out. I'm assuming it's uncommon for a reason. I don't need the snow-covered plains. I have 2 Putrid Goblins already, and I just don't think a 3rd Reprobation is where we want to be. So let's try this one out. Okay, Answered Prayers actually seems pretty good for our deck. Just a nice evasive threat. And we have plenty of creatures. No, another First Sphere Gargantua. That's probably fine. It's a lot better if you can mill it into your graveyard or discard it somehow rather than clunking up your hand. But we're not playing Face of Divinity or any of the other cards. If this was real life, I'd take the Snow-Covered Mountain. Ransack the Lab's fine. I guess I'll take another Reprobation. Oh, maybe Unearth. Unearth's pretty good. You can cycle it at worst case scenario. Yeah, let's try Unearth here. Alright, I'll take the Wall. Sideboard card against Flyers, I suppose. And I'll go ahead and take the Angel. And I'll take the thing that goes infinite with Llanowar Tribe. Sure, I'll take the rare. Nobody's going to play that. They can play the other 2 cards if they want. Well, our deck looks fine. We're light on removal, and I don't think this set is like chock full of removal. There's a couple good commons, the Magmatic Sinkhole, the Mob, but I feel like it's either you take those when you see them, you're not going to get them late. Also note, we're drafting on Moto, which is real people, not on Arena. Sure. Captain Sisay, you made it. Anyway, the point about drafting on Moto and not Arena is that, you know, people are going to make sensible picks. You're not just going to get past nut stuff later on. Frostwalk Bastion, can't really activate that one. It's kind of a weird card. Alright, so we have a ton of playables. I don't really know that you actually need to play a Snow-Covered Swamp if you have no payoffs, but I'm going to play it because it looks cool. Let me go through real quick and see what we kind of just don't want. I don't think we want the second Recruit the Worthy. If you have 2 of them in your hand, they literally don't do anything unless you're just casting them for 1 mana, in which case this card's quite bad. Reprobation seem good. Stirring Address is possibly on the chopping block. I don't think Diabolic Edict is something we want in the main board, just because we do have 2 enchantments. It's a super non-bow with a Edict effect. The Putrid Goblins seem okay. I'm not sure about Altar of Dementia. Maybe against a much slower deck we can board this in as a game plan. But unless we're milling our opponent out, it doesn't seem like it does that much. And here we have, I guess this is removal if we need it to be removal. Also, Force of Despair can kill some annoying creatures. Kind of like all the 3-drops, although Martyr's Soul isn't insane by any means. Rank Officer. Alright, let's cut one of the first spheres. Let's cut probably the Stirring Address. I don't think I'm going to go wide enough to make that card incredible or anything like that, and Rock's Veteran's probably fine at doing that. What else? We have 27 cards. We still need to make quite a few cuts here. Maybe the 3 and 4 drop Glut is what I'm looking at. Probably going to cut 1 Martyr's Soul, because I don't think I'm going to be able to get this out very easily while having lands untapped. And I wonder if Cabal Therapist is good. We don't have a lot of creatures that we want to sacrifice. We do have Putrid Goblins, which come back. But that is still a pretty steep cost. 1/1 Menace isn't really that exciting. Alright, what else do we have? War-Eye Witch. You scry 1 when another creature you control dies. Rank Officer turns creatures in your graveyard into life loss. It's interesting. Enduring Sliver, not really good. It does give my cohorts Outlast, which could matter quite a bit here. All right, what would you guys cut? That's what I really want to know. I'm leaning towards like maybe the Rocks Veteran, but this card does seem pretty good with the cohorts. Maybe the Sadistic Obsession, and then we board this in against like little creatures and stuff like that. Because it is clunky, right? It's basically 5 mana to activate it. You don't really want to run this out and then not have the mana to activate and get your guy killed. So I'll go ahead and get that out of there. And I'm leaning towards Cabal Therapist, because we don't necessarily want to be sacrificing our creatures. I do want to have 1-drops so that this Ranger Captain can actually fetch something up, but I think the Outcast is more along the lines of what I want, just because the Outcast does enable like a really early Valiant Changeling. The Outcast can work with the Enduring Sliver. Doesn't do too much else that's like super crazy or anything like that. Yeah, I guess Cabal Therapist can come out. And then we got to cut one more. My glut of 3-drops. I don't know how we're actually winning games. We're just kind of like a black-white deck with black-white cards. I like the cohorts a lot. I love the Battle Screech. I don't want to cut too much removal, so the Generous Gift is going to stay even though, I don't think this card's crazy. It is kind of a cool combo with Force of Despair, right? If you use this on your opponent's turn, blow up a creature, and then you Force of Despair, it'll blow up that elephant as well. So I guess that's something to keep in mind there, but not really like a huge thing. From your graveyard. Alright, well, we got to make a cut here, so let's quit dilly-dallying. I'm going to keep all the 1s. Probably just get rid of this Rocks Veteran. Maybe that's wrong. This card's decent. Maybe get rid of the Martyr Soul again, because I don't think I'm going to be able to actually make this a 5/4. I mean, it's good with Battle Screech, right? But you can't really do that on turn 3. Alright, I think this is going to be my deck. Majority white. Got a couple little grindy things to it. We have a little bit of a sideboard, but not too much. And we'll just play a 9/8 mana base with 1 fancy swamp, so 9/7. Now, I do want to split pretty evenly. Some of the things on Moto have changed since I played it, so if I'm clicking the wrong thing or things look a little bit off, sorry. But this is our very first Modern Horizons draft. We're playing black-white, not really on theme with the archetype, but we ended up kind of just going for black-white good stuff, I suppose. Which is a little bit odd because, or not advantageous. There are going to be some very synergistic decks, and I think if you're not playing one of those synergistic decks, you can get owned. It's a little bit awkward that one of my removal spells just doesn't function with the other two, but we'll make this work. So thanks for joining us here. My name's Timothy with Mana Rocks. I will see you all in the matches coming up. All right, here we are for match 1, Modern Horizons against Yu Hirawasa 5. We are going to keep on the play. This hand seems pretty good. We have 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, and some life gain with the Answered Prayers. So I guess we'll see what we're up against. So far, this set has shown me that there are good aggro decks and good control decks, so a wide array of what can happen here. Zalfrin Decoy. I think I'm just going to go and play the Goblin. That's more likely to be able to attack next turn. And man, am I rusty on Moto. It just feels weird. So used to playing on Arena now. Is that good? This looks good, right? Changeling Outcast on turn 2. So that was probably the draw from the opponent. Means we got to watch out for ninjas. I'm going to attack into that. That can't block. And we're going to play Answered Prayers here. So we might get ninja next turn, but that's okay. So again, Answered Prayers is an enchantment. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under my control, I gain a life, and then I can have this become, or it has to become a 3/3 flyer until end of turn. So we're going to have a really good next turn. Battle Screech into Ancient or Answered Prayers. We won't get to flash this back right away. We could. Actually, against blue-black, maybe I'd do that. And just give up a little bit of damage here for the turn. Yeah, that might actually just be good. Battle Screech is that good. Ooh, Shelter as well. No, I don't think we need to... I think I just want to get ahead of my opponent and deal a bunch of damage, right? If I attack with Putrid Goblin, they might block. I don't think that matters very much. We're also going to gain life. Ooh, they killed one of the birds. That's to make sure that I can't actually flash back the Battle Screech this turn, but that seems fine by me. Interesting here, if my opponent attacks with this, or if they block with the Goblin and they have a ninjutsu card for our Goblin, I just don't really even care, to be honest. They're probably going to trade with my Goblin. But yeah, theirs can persist, and then if I don't block it and they have a ninja, they get to kind of reset theirs. But I think we're doing fine. It doesn't look like ninjutsu. Ooh, Mana War on the bird. Pretty good. Still feeling fine about this. Not going to be able to flashback our thing anytime soon, though. Okay, let's play Swamp. Gonna play Zalfrin Decoy, or I could just hold up Recruit the Worthy here, but yeah, I'm just gonna play Decoy and have Shelter up. Get in for 3 with the Answered Prayers. And then next turn, if we really wanted to, we could Recruit the Worthy, but this is a nice mana sink from this position. If we don't draw any gas or anything, then we can just Recruit the Worthy, and we can also use it on our opponent's turn to make sure this can tap on their turn. Not super worried about that, but I feel okay with the Shelter in my hand as long as they don't play like some big flyer. If we see like a huge attack with everything, oh, okay, they could also have protection from white and from blue. Well, that's tedious. They're going to equip that to the Changeling. What does this one do? Put a 1/1 counter on a creature you control, then proliferate. Okay, and I can't block it, so never mind, we might just die here. Should be able to beat that. This is going to become, what, a 5/5, then a 7/7. Ugh, that's so gross. We're going to take 3 here. I can't actually tap it with the Zalfrin guy. Oh, they're going to make a bigger blocker on the Jellyfish. Okay, well, we're not taking less damage. Oh, and they're going to proliferate my -1 counter? That's sick. Super annoying, actually. Alright, this guy. So, Human Soldier. This thing cost 2 less to cast. So we could cast it, which is pretty good. It just, the sword kind of blanks it a little bit. Also, don't really want to expose this to removal, but not sure that I have much else of a choice. Let's see, I could Recruit the Worthy, turn this into an Angel, and then I have Soldier, Human, Soldier. That doesn't help very much. I think I'm just going to run this out instead of holding up Recruit the Worthy. And we'll get in for 3 with the flyer here. Thank God for this. It's been doing quite a bit of work here. Opponent's going to have 3 cards in hand here, so let's see if they have a removal spell for this Double Striker. Because what I can do is Shelter it pre-combat. Granted, they'll have 2 different color blockers, so it's going to be a little annoying. Yeah, no way we're ever blocking that Mana War. Uh-oh. Oh, okay, here comes Ninja. Oh, and they're going to have the whatchamacallit? God, the opponent's just wrecking us now. So they're going to draw 2 cards because they're both ninjas. And they bounce their Mana War back to their hand, so they have that. Guess I should have blocked Mana War, huh? Alright, well, we're still under pressure here. So they're going to replay Mana War and bounce our Valiant Changeling. Yep. Put that back in our hand. Opponent just drew 2 cards too. Ugh. Got it. I really wish I could hold up Shelter here. So I can get in for 3 with the Angel. And then I kind of have to block. Could also just hold this up and use the tapper to tap down something, but then this is getting in, they're drawing cards anyway. Well, this is not good news. I think this Angel's just gonna kind of have to be our game plan here. They would have a sword that matches our colors. Very tilting cards, you know. Alright, opponent's at 6. Casting something pre-combat is not good. Crypt Rats. Oh, that's really good. So they can pay up to 4 mana to dome everybody for 4. They're probably going to do that to try and kill the Angel, I assume. Well, this might work out, actually. Because if they try to kill the Angel, I can give it pro-black. It'll survive the Crypt Rats. They'll deal 3 to themselves. Assuming that's what they're going to do, of course. Swamp. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go ahead and cast this with buyback. I'm hoping they just activate Crypt Rats for 3 here. Which would also wipe my board, so it looks pretty innocuous to do it. All right, they're going to do it, so I think they're actually going to kill themselves here. Because that deals damage, I'm going to give this pro-black. Opponent's deck seems really strong. All right, you also have a 1 mana black spell in your hand. Ooh, we got it. All right, nice. So against a deck that happens to be pretty good against ours, if you will. Diabolic Edict. Yeah, not really where I want to be. This actually didn't seem very bad against them. Against multiple changelings and the little putrid guy. Maybe not like insane or anything like that. Don't think I want this thing on the draw as much. I'm going to be playing defense, it looks like. I don't think I want to go super hard on anything else. They did have Defile, which is just a good removal spell, so I don't think I can do too much about that. Also note that we have Reprobations, which get knocked off by the sword. So maybe I go like down a Retrobation and up a Diabolic Edict. Again, the Edict's not great, especially if they have things like Putrid Goblin. This probably just isn't a matchup for Diabolic Edict, but I don't want to, run super hard on a white enchantment and then have them have a protection from that enchantment, So I think we're going to run like this. Honestly, I would not have won that game if it weren't for this Angel, so a little bit skeptical about how this second game's going to go. This might be an Altar of Dementia matchup where we just try to mill them out or something along those lines, but I don't know. That doesn't seem right. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and submit, and we'll see you for Game 2. Oh, look at that. Game 2. Don't even have to edit. A little bit lucky to win that first one. All right. This one, not as good. Probably going to end up cycling Unearth. Can't actually even cast Answered Prayers. Blue drop, so no turn 1 Changeling. All right. I guess I need 2 drops in Plains. Well, there's a Plain, so that's a start. This is 2 to cycle. All right. Probably going to cycle this on turn 2 unless we draw a 2 drop. And then turn 3 the Prayers. Still no creature from the opponent. Don't mind that. We are drawing a Swamp. Let's go and run a Swamp and pass, and we will cycle on end step. Nope, they're probably sitting on some Mana Wars, I assume. This Answered Prayers is good against Mana War. Diabolic Edict. That could be useful. All right, well, you're a little bit too late, but I'm going to go ahead and run out the Prayers. And we will pass the turn. See what else they've got here. They might just like hard cast the Ninja here. The 2/3. Gluttonous Slug. Oh, I like this card so much. But I can get them pretty hard with the Diabolic Edict if they go to do something. So I think I'm going to go 2 drop. They might be holding up an Edict of their own, which actually wouldn't be very good against this because it hit my Goblin. So let's go Swamp, Putrid Goblin, attack for 3, and hold up Diabolic Edict. And then hopefully they try to ninjutsu and we can get them good with the Diabolic Edict of our own. Note that Defile is currently -2/-2. Get in damage while we can. Feels good. This thing has Menace, so I can't stop it from attacking me, but I do have a nice little trick up my sleeve here. I guess they could also evolve it and then just Edict. Do I want to just go ahead and Diabolic Edict now? probably right. They're just going to bounce this. That's not even that great. Get this stupid slug off board. That way they're not hitting me at all. They can't ninjutsu this turn. String of disappearances. Return it to their owner's hand. Interesting. They want their slug. All right, they're going to go ahead and bounce the goblin. We're going to play... Ooh, that's actually really good. We're going to play that instead. White, white, black, black. We could start activating this next turn as well, although they haven't shown us any creatures that this is really that good against. Yeah, let's go and play this. Another land gives us this Gargantuan, which hopefully draws into more gas. And these are changelings, which is always something to kind of note. Again, this Answered Prayers is looking pretty good. Oh, they defiled it. They had a third swamp. So now we're sitting here looking at each other. They saved their slug, though. They really wanted their slug for some reason. Yeah, I'm going to block because of ninjutsu. Block with... I think I'm just going to block with the original one because I can get it back with the... I don't know what the card's called. Just see no reason I should let him just run out a ninjutsu card on me here. Alright, Plains is good. Let's go ahead and cast this Gargantuan. Lose a life, draw a card. Ward-Eye Witch. Well, we've got tons of gas in our hand here. We'll just double block if we can. And if not, we'll attack them and see if they want to do anything. Oh, yeah, this is what I was talking about. So now that we have a changeling in our graveyard, whenever a creature dies, we can use this to get the changeling plus any other creature back. This card plays very well with changelings. Let's go ahead and jam with the first Sphere Gargantuan, and then we'll probably just play two creatures here. I could also play... I guess I could play this plus this and discard the Ward-Eye Witch. Make a zombie token, which is not that much worse than this. I don't know that there are sweepers I need to play around here. Yeah, let's do that. And we'll just build a big enough board that we might be able to get ahead of our opponent here. Alright, you're up. This is set up to get 2 creatures back. Opponent's flooding a little bit. They're on 8. Azra Smokeshaper, just hard casting it. So this one gives the slug indestructible this turn. If they attack, I'm going to double block. I'm not letting them ninjutsu on me here. If they eat a couple creatures with their last card in hand, I'm fine with that. Venomous Changeling. Sure. This is all well and good. Actually, Sadistic Obsession looking really good here now. So what's my least valuable creature? The zombie token? So now we can actually shrink the Venomous Changeling so that it has no power. And attack with just this. If they block with the Changeling, I put a -1 counter on their Changeling. And I guess I cast this, or do I just hold off? No, we'll just start shrinking their dudes. Alright, we got there against a deck that's probably pretty good against ours. Just played creatures and had a flyer, and that flyer was pretty good. Let's see if we can roll this back again. Game 2 coming up. Alright, match 2 is up. We are on the play. Yeah, we have 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop. That's pretty good. The 1-drop doesn't do very much, but seems kind of sweet. We're against Gator Galen, Mullen to 6. Note that the London Mulligan is not official until the next core set. Go and play a Changeling, put the fear in the man, pass the turn. Enduring Sliver does let this Changeling get a little bit bigger, but not until later in the game. And untap, play a Plains, play an Enduring Sliver. Generous Gift, sure, I guess that's a magic card. No tricks, opponent. You're up. And we'll just run out of bear here. And ship the turn. Is it just me, or is Moto running really smoothly? I haven't played it in a while, but it looks like everything's just kind of running nice. Imposter of the 6-pass. 3-1 Changeling. Pretty good. Just attack into it, I suppose. Play Ward-Eye Witch first in case my opponent wants to trade off. Then I will get some scries out of the deal. And by that, I mean a single scry. This thing can't block, so it's not like I get to threaten anything. Plains is probably my best draw here. Having this irregular cohort on curve would give us a 1 through 4 curve. Opponent's going to take the damage, and I'm more than welcome just making this trade here. Hopefully they don't have the stupid double strike changeling, but we have an answer if that happens to happen. Do I even block here? My opponent's like just shipping for 3. They can't ninjutsu. Nah. I'm ahead on the race. I'm not going to take the 3 here. Enduring Sliver. Okay. So you also have a Sliver OP. Alright. No such luck. And another double white card. I could unearth now to try and hit a land drop. Or I could hold up Generous Gift. I can also Outlast, but that doesn't seem great. I'm going to go ahead and attack for 6. I'm assuming my opponent's going to trade their Sliver for my 3-2. Is what it looks like. I don't think this triggers on itself. Yeah. Alright, so opponent trades. I could just pay 1 mana to unearth this thing. Oh, it does trigger on itself. It's whenever it or another creature you control dies. Alright, Swamp on top. Doesn't actually get us closer to these. I think I'm going to bottom that. And then question is, do I unearth the Witch? Or do I cycle unearth? I think I'm just going to get the Witch back here. Just keep the pressure on my opponent here. Eventually I'll draw Plains and I can just run this out for 2 mana. Alright, opponent has a First Strike and Sliver here. Oh, that's really nasty against me, isn't it? Can't block that one very well. I could get him kind of nice here with the Generous Gift on this. Take away First Strike. Oh, okay. Plains was a good draw. So probably just run out the Valiant Changeling. Boom, boom. And then I can Outlast this Sliver. We'll be taking some damage on the swing back. Opponent's red-white Slivers, which can be a blisteringly fast deck. Yeah, let's go ahead and get this thing out. Outlast the 2-2 so that it can block their 2-2. And we'll go ahead and jam with our 1-1 Changeling here. I think our Valiant Changeling's just going to be good here. And there's a chance if they don't have removal or anything that they just can't even really... Oh, I didn't mean to F6 there. Shoot. I meant to Outlast this guy. Oh, well. Maybe we can double block or something like that. Get our opponent to use a trick. Oh, this can also Outlast. Outlast is sorcery speed only. Alright, opponent's thinking on our end step here. Maybe they're trying to figure out how I cast this or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's really neat with a Shapeshifter. Also, I have like Goblin Shaman, Sliver, something. Ooh, okay, so whenever a Sliver enters the battlefield under my opponent's control, I take a damage and they gain a life. That's really good. They did use their mana for the turn, though, so let's see if they want to attack. They do not. Yeah, I should have Outlasted. I would have taken 5 if I had Outlasted. Alright, let's see. If I attack with this and they go for... Let's just say they triple block and I kill this. I get to double strike off both their creatures. If they go for some sort of double block because they also have First Strike, I get to like deal boom, boom. And then this isn't enough to kill me. So I don't think they have any good blocks on this, right? Well, hold on. Let me do that one more time in my head. If I attack with this and they just hypothetically triple block. Oh, they deal First Strike. So they go boom, boom, boom. I wonder if I'm just supposed to Generous Gift this now. I think I'm going to go attack, attack. I'm probably going to have to use this mid-combat, and then I Outlast the Enduring Sliver. Because I think they're going to go for a bad attack on this Valiant Changeling. Or they're going to try to double block it or something like that. I don't think they're just going to take 6 here. They could just put this in front of it, right? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. All right, so I could also just make this trade, right? We both have First Strike. And then it's just Lava Belly and, like, this. Versus my whole board. Yeah, okay, let's just make the trade here. I can hold up this Generous Gift for something better. As good as this guy is, I think the 2-for-1 is in my favor when it gets rid of their first striker. Scry, Shelter on top? Do I want Shelter here? It's not bad. Yeah, Shelter seems fine. So now I deal a point of damage to them, and I just run out this guy. And pass. Got a pretty formidable board against them. They are still hurting for mana. They've been on 3. This card's a little threatening, but without any other pumps, without the first strike or anything, it's just a 2/2. I can jam everything into it. Well, they have another one. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so I can't just attack. Oh, I can do that though, right? If I attack with everything, I shelter. I probably throw away one creature here, but I go attack, attack, attack. They eat one of my creatures. The shelter lets me kill this one. So I lose one creature and they lose both of theirs, presumably. Yeah, I'll do that. So we'll just shelter whichever one this one blocks. They are smart to get rid of this. Actually, hold on a sec. Shelter. Yeah, I need to get rid of the first striker, so we'll go ahead and give this thing pro-white. And they are going to kill my Outlast one. Oh, well, I couldn't have changed the way I tapped there. Swamp on top. No, Swamp can go to bottom. I don't need any more lands here. Alright, and we get to hold up this Generous Gift. I might just blow up one of my own lands here and just get another 3/3 on board. Spiteful Sliver. So any damage that's dealt to their slivers is also dealt to target player or planeswalker. Yeah, I'm going to take one. They're going to lose one. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this puts them at essentially 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I Generous Gift, they have to block with at least one of these slivers. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and Generous Gift a Swamp here. Remember before Arena when we had to tap our own lands? And I am going to take some damage, but not sure what else they can really do. I don't have any more 1-drops to fetch up, but let's go ahead and attack first. They, assuming there's nothing for white here I have to worry about, they're going to be at 8. And this is a swing for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They have to block at least one of the 3/3s. And then they do get to 2-for-1 me here. They get to let that die and then deal 2 to another one of my creatures. But they're at 1 life. I'm going to play another creature here. Oh, this doesn't hit creatures? Oh, right. We did just read that. Rank Officer. I'm about to shuffle my library. It doesn't really matter. Actually, the decoy might be better, because then I could just tap down a creature next turn. I have something I can guaranteed play in my hand. And if they play something that makes our blocks just miserable, I can cast this and then tap down something. So I think we've got this one. I'm not sure what they have here. Maybe some nonsense into Wing Shards. But we're playing against kind of a little weenie deck. The Lancer Slivers are really bad for us, because they do just hold off most of our creatures. But I think we can get around the Lancer Slivers. This is a matchup where I do really want the thing that puts a -1/-1 counter on creatures. 2 activations of that is enough to just kill basically any sliver. And we got there. Note that our opponent was mana screwed though, so not sure how to feel about that. Also, just like a cheap combat trick seems fine against an opponent who's running like 2/2s. We didn't really see ways to pump them, but we've got to assume they have them. Diabolic Edict's probably fine here. Any expensive like X2 is just not going to be that good. So I'm kind of not digging this officer. And then what else? We were just talking about something. Maybe the Stirring Address. I like the Return from Extinctions. I don't mind the Putrid Goblins here. The Reprobations still seem fine, even though, again, not really a combo with Diabolic Edict. Maybe I cut a Reprobation because I am bringing in the Edict. Same thing we did in match number 1. All right, I think this is going to be it. I just think +2/+2 on basically any creature is going to be relevant when most of my opponent's creatures happen to be 2/2s. Oh, right, the Sadistic Obsession. I do think this is probably good in this matchup. Battle Screech is fine. The Rock's Veteran, I took it out last game because it's better on the play than the draw, but it is a good blocker for what they're doing. I like the Force of Despair yet. Haven't gotten to actually try it yet. And then the rest of this stuff is, you know, kind of in between. Recruit the Worthy, okay. Yeah, I could see cutting like a 2-drop. I don't want to cut too many 2-drops, but this isn't going to be able to block that often. All right, maybe the Rock's Veteran does just come out. All right, let's try this out. I'll see you guys in game 2. And never mind, game 2's up. All right, Gator Gallon. Let's see if they have to mulligan again or not. Can't keep this. We just got arena'd, boys. Got arena'd. This thing is in all my opening hands. Looks like we will be mulling to 5. Sure, mulling to 4. Okay, well that's sad. 0-lander, 0-lander, 0-lander. Got me. This is not where I want to be in this matchup. Can't even necessarily cast this Battle Screech on turn 4. Alright, well this is going to be a quick game 2, and we're going to probably go to a game 3, I assume. If my opponent has any sort of reasonable draw here. 3-1. Battle Screech is good against that, but not if they have the first striker. Alright, kill me quick, Gator. Kill me quick. Well, there could be some hope if they don't have a 3rd land or if they're missing a color or something. No, they had everything we didn't want. And the Lava Belly. We're gonna die quick. In matches like these where I have to mulligan and I don't really get to play, at least I like to see some new cards for my opponent so I can kind of decide whether I need to mulligan again. Or not mulligan, but sideboard again. But unfortunately, they've played all cards that we didn't know. This one's good to know about. And also, we're super dead. All slivers they control get +2/+0. So we're going to take 9 plus the 1 here, 10. I mean, we get the Battle Screech. But, geez, if they play the first strike sliver, we're just dead. And they don't necessarily not have the first strike sliver because they've kind of curved out on us. All right, let's play Battle Screech and see if they have the first strikey guy. Even if they don't, it's pretty bad for us. All right, opponent. Make it quick. Spiteful Sliver. All right, well, that one... Wait, am I just dead? Block. But because of this, I take 1. And then block 4. Oh, I am just dead. Nice. Well, try that again, huh? Without the mold of 4. Maybe cast some spells. Is this good against them? This seems actually pretty good against them. They have a 4/2 that's good to know about. And this is a little bit better on the play again. Sadistic Obsession. I still think this is probably good against them. All right, well, we mulled the 4. I'm not going to hold that super high in my evaluation of whether I sideboarded right or not. I would like to play first. No black card for the Force is awkward here. And I basically need 2 lands for this hand to be good. I'm leaning towards this actually being a mull. Recruit the Worthy is just not going to cut it against most of their slivers. Just a 1-mana 1/1 instant speed creature. If I drew all lands, this would be a fine hand. But the fact that I can't free cast this kind of sucks. Alright, the Diabolic Edict makes me want to keep this one a little bit more. I will definitely keep that on top. And we'll just ship the turn. My best draws would be a Changeling to get out this Valiant Changeling. But Recruit the Worthy might trade for like a 3/1. And Diabolic Edict be pretty good against them. So we'll just go ahead and pass here. If they play like a 2/2 or anything, I'll just go ahead and cast Diabolic Edict while I can get something out of it. Oh, I was worried about that one. Slivers have flying and haste. I'll go ahead and Diabolic Edict now because that one's just kind of gross. Unfortunately, it's a flyer, so I can't get it with the Recruit the Worthy. Alright, give me something good here. First Sphere. Well, if I could find a way to discard that, that'd be fine. I mean, it's still not too bad. If they run out anything that this might be able to trade with, I think I just play it. Yeah, this seems decent. I'm just going to go ahead and pass. 4th land wouldn't be bad here because then I can buy it back. Unearth. Probably just cycle that right now. In case I hit a land drop, I don't want to miss lands. I did hit a land drop. We'll pass and see if our opponent plays around anything by playing like a first strike sliver first. They did. Smart opponent is smart. Yep. I think I'm just going to play this Recruit the Worthy and make a 1/1 so that my Stern Address does something. I don't think buying it back next turn is going to be relevant. I want this to be relevant. Irregular Cohort. Okay, that's a decent draw. And then I guess what I'm really hoping to draw here is a Plane so that I can cast this Valiant Changeling and hold up Stirring Address. We'll see. I still can't really block the Imposter very well. Yeah. Oh, the 2/2's attacking as well? That I don't like. I don't think I'm going to run into a trick here, though. Going to take my 5. I could put my 2/2's in front of this Lancer Sliver, but if they have any sort of trick, I lose them both. Alright, follow up with another Lancer Sliver. It's not the worst. Alright, Plains off the top. Shelter. That's not exactly what I asked for, but I guess that's fine. Alright. Not feeling great about this. Alright, now if we see them attack these 2/2's into my 3/3, that's a problem. But I can go ahead and double block and do some weird blocks on the other creatures because I've already got this down, so I can afford to lose my Changelings. If I untap with Shelter, I feel a lot better about this, but they might be able to just kill my Valiant Changeling. Alright, I'm going to go for a double block on the 2/2's. Like such. Oh, actually, next turn I can hold up Stern Address and Shelter, which is nice. Alright, again, I'm assuming there's some sort of trick here. If I can manage to just trade straight up. Oh, okay, that's nice. I traded half of my card for one of their slivers. They do still have 5 cards in hand and a lot of very effective slivers. They played Pyrophobia. Cowards can't block this turn. And this one is pretty good as well. We are dying the good death. Can't really attack. So here's the game plan. We're going to try to Stirring Address. Well, I guess let's see how they attack first, because I am dying. Alright, so Soldier blocks here, and this blocks here. And then we Shelter this one pro-white, and we Stern Address this one. No, we want to do that the other way around, right? No, we want to kill this one, so the Shelter one... Oh yeah, I guess we can do this. Shelter here, and then Stern Address this one. Or Shelter here and Stern Address this one. But doing it the other way around keeps both our creatures alive. So that's going to be the block, and then we are going to go ahead and Shelter first because it draws us a card. So we want to Shelter this one. Or actually, let's go ahead and Stern Address first here. See if they have interaction. We might just want to Shelter this in response or something like that. So +2/+2 on that one. And then Shelter this just to get it off the board. Alright, opponent's doing something. Volatile Clause. Until end of turn, creatures you control get +2/+0 and gain all creature types. So that's not going to save this. +2/+0. Shelter still saves this and still kills this. But we take 4. Alright, I'm still going to go for the Shelter here. Oh, wait. Stern Address. Oh, never mind. Hold on. This does not work the way I want it to. Alright, I guess we're going to lose this. Alright, we'll Shelter pro-white. This is going to be kind of a 4-power first striker. We want to give this pro-whites. So we're going to be at 3 against this and this. We should have this left on board. Ooh, Answered Prayers could be relevant here. If we draw a creature, we can go Answered Prayers into creature and start gaining some life. I'd feel pretty good about that. If not, I guess I don't have too many blanks because a land will let us cast this, although that puts us at 2. And we've got to get rid of this before we die. Okay, so we drew a Plains. I think I just have to cast this thing and hope my opponent doesn't have a way to kill it. I'm going to go down to 2, and then if they have a removal spell for either of our creatures, I die. But I think I don't have much of a option. If I just play this, I am dead. Alright, opponent with 3 cards in hand. Ooh, that would be such a good draw. Let's see if I get to untap here. I don't feel so good about it. Nope, they killed it, so... Oh, they had a magmatic sinkhole. So, good game, opponent. We did die here, unfortunately. That was a good game, though. So that puts us at 1-1. We're going to try to make our play points back here in the 3rd match. And our deck's been working reasonably well. I don't appreciate the mold 4, but what can you do? Thanks for sticking around. Before we get into the 3rd round, make sure you subscribe below. Feel free to find us on Twitter at MTG_Manarocks, and we'll see you in match 3. All right, we're back for match 3, and unfortunately another mulligan. We're on the draw this time, but sad day for the mulligan. This would be a fine hand. Gonna definitely mull here against Arborist 77, and wowza, this deck hates us. Just reveal Plains on top, I'll feel a little bit better. Although I guess we're not casting anything unless we draw another Plains. Alright, run it out, and we're just looking for a Plains in the next 2 turns. Hopefully my opponent plays something that trades off with a Recruit the Worthy. Or I draw, I was going to say, or I draw a Putrid Goblin. That bridges the gap pretty nicely here. And Plains on top. Alright, against blue-white, potentially snow. They have 1 snow Plains. Blue-white is the Blink archetype. Ooh, this card's so good. Yeah, fun little note about this. It comes in tapped because that's part of the Hideaway text, which I never would have known because Hideaway has only been on lands before that come into the battlefield tapped. But it's nice to know that this enters the battlefield tapped, because you wouldn't really think that. Aw, Valiant Changeling. All right, so I guess I could trade Recruit the Worthy for this, but I can buy it back as well next turn. I don't really see the need to do that. I'm just going to pass here and keep my Putrid Goblin up. I'll trade it for their Watcher for tomorrow. Hopefully they don't have a Soul Blinker or whatever it's called, Soul Herder, because they get to kind of go off with this card and make the Soul Hoarder huge. I think my ideal draw obviously would have been a Plains. They oh, on curve and everything. All right. You got me, opponent. So now this is going to get bigger every turn. They're going to draw an extra card basically every turn of this game. And we are going to lose because I don't think we're going to be able to beat that. Yeah, sure, this will come in tapped over and over again. So they're going to get another Hideaway card. And then they're going to get the Hideaway card that they got because this is a leaves the battlefield trigger, not a death ability. And then every time a creature's exiled, they get to go ahead and get theirs back. I mean... This is like blue-white on paper. They just kind of chose the cards that were in their open in hand, and they got them. Plus, we have to sit here and watch them resolve a billion triggers because they have to make a decision out of the top 4 cards. I don't think we're going to win this game. This has not panned out, and I've got 3 double white cards in my hand. I am going to go ahead and attack with this Putrid Goblin now. Maybe it'll incentivize my opponent to go ahead and jam in with this Watcher, and we can get him with the Recruit the Worthy. I mean, they don't have to attack with this at all because it is an engine. But I'm going to go Recruit the Worthy and block. I guess I do that regardless. No, I'm not just chumping Soul Herder. Sadly, we needed a Plains, I think, to keep up with the value engine here. I mean, best case scenario is that my opponent attacks with Watcher. I get to Recruit the Worthy and block it basically for free. Oh, no. When another snow permanent enters, they mill me for 2. Arkham's Astrolabe. Okay, they have a little bit of a snow theme going on. This card's pretty sweet. So I'm going to mill 2. They're going to get a mana fixer, and I guess that's it. They might start Soul Herder in the snow permanent. Oh, yeah. Jeez. Soul Herder. Basically, if you're playing blue-white and you have this card, your deck is insane. And if you don't, your deck is not insane. Okay, they are attacking with the Watcher. That's good. But they are going to be able to start blinking the Arkham's Astrolabe to keep drawing cards. Okay, and they have something before combat anyway. Choke and Tethers to tap down my creature. Sure. That means they intend to blink the Watcher, not the Astrolabe, which makes sense. All right, let's see what our draw is next turn before we just concede. And if it's a plains, then we're still potentially in this game. I don't know my opponent having 5 cards and just going off here. I don't. This isn't the type of game I want to play because of how long it takes my opponent to do stuff and how I know my removal just isn't that great and how perfectly kind of everything lined up here. But I think we got a little shafted here. Mold to 6 into a bunch of double white cards. This card is so good though. Swamp. Okay. We're not going to win this game with just a Recruit the Worthy. Let's try that again. I mean, this card is going to be good if they don't get going, right? Could also try, like, Altar of Dementia, because they're probably going to be drawing a bunch of cards. And then Diabolic Edict. These are all cards that I think are going to be fine. So, Reprobation can come out. Rank Officer is probably okay. Same with Rock's Veteran. I think I'll take the Rank Officer out. They're probably playing bounce spells and stuff like that. And then one more card here. Kind of like all those. Haven't tried the Force out at all, which is a little bit of a shame. Maybe I don't want Altar. Altar just seems fine if my opponent's going to be drawing infinite value, right? Just I don't have a lot of sacrifice creatures. All right, no fanciness with the Altar. Let's just bring in the Obsession and the Edict. I would like to play first. Yeah, this needs to draw well, but it is 1-drop, 2-drop, and then hopefully something after that. Hopefully. It is also potentially a turn 3 double strikey guy if we happen to draw that. I think if I could pick an archetype, it would probably be blue-white with like 2 soul herders. Our opponent's got, you know, the snow sub-theme going on, but that doesn't seem necessary. Well, we drew our 6-drop, so that's something to do with all of our lands if we get there. One of the, I guess, worst things we could have drawn probably, but serves a purpose later on. And get some dudes going here. I mean, unless we draw actual creatures, this is just a 1-3. Alright, they have their Watcher. They have their Watcher. Again, comes in tap, so I can get a little bit of an attack in here. I really need to draw something like the next 2 turns need to be relevant spells here. If they're just lands, I feel like I'm just going to lag behind, of course. That is what they are. And I'm just going to attack with the 1/1 Changeling. Can't block anyway. Not going to attack with my 1/3. Our deck looked pretty good here, but I don't have high hopes for what's going on. And this is just not the type of draw that's competitive in this sort of format. None of our cards really synergize here. Can't even cast this, and I've got a bunch of blanks in my hand, sadly. If they attack with the Watcher, I'm going to block it. They do not. Alright, spell, Shelter. I guess Shelter's better than nothing. Might just cycle it if nothing else. Go ahead and attack with our Changeling Outcast. This card's also good in blue-black with the ninjas. You attack, and if it's unblocked, a lot of times your opponent doesn't want to block it because you're going to get the card off of it. Choking Tethers to tap down my guy. Alright, opponent's just kind of cycling Choking Tethers here. That seems fine. I don't need to fight over that with Shelter. This only saves them a point of damage. I mean, I can attack with my 1/3, but I'm trading 1 damage for 2. Maybe I need to deal more damage to them. Chiller Pillar. Alright, that's a cool one. No snow permanents on board yet, but this is a 3/3, and for 4 and 2 snow mana, they can make it a 5/5 flyer. Alright, Unearth. Ugh, I'm going to cycle that right now, I think. Keeping up double white. Jeez, this has not been a particularly good draw, has it? Chiller Pillar can also just attack. Well, next turn we get to play the Gargantuan, but we've not really added board presence here. Gargantuan is good. Astrolabe's fine. Ooh, actually, I think I'm pretty sure you can... Like, I'm pretty sure if you use mana from a normal basic and create mana with this, it becomes snow mana. Not like 100% sure about that, but I'm pretty sure that's how that works. So my opponent will, I think, be able to monstrosity that next turn. And it looks like that's the game plan. They're going to be 5/5 flyers. I'm just not going to be able to beat that. Look at this. Well, sadly, we're going to get the 1 and 3 here. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play 2 of my games, but it's fine. It's good practice still. You get to see what you're getting beat with, and that's, you know, good for something. But assuming they have a 6th land in hand, they can start monstrositying at least one of these chiller pillars. And then I'm just dead in like 2 turns, right? They get to deal 5. Okay, and this is just a snow land, so they can definitely just activate one of these anyway. I can recruit the worthy and tap 1 down. Oh, they didn't attack at all. Huh. Whenever this deals combat damage to a creature, tap that creature and it doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. And we drew the changeling. Weird, they didn't attack at all. This game's flying, right? As long as it's monstrous, it has flying. It becomes a 5/5. So they're holding something up here. Okay, well, I think I'm going to play this first. It looks like they just want to trade, like, a chiller pillar with the first sphere gargantuan. I'm going to play this first in case something happens to this outcast. Maybe I want to watch out for wing shards, though. Yeah, I guess that's a thing to be wary of. I'm going to attack with these 2. Oh, they're just Cyclone and Choke and Tethers. Yeah, that's fine. Could have cast that to tap down all my guys. Alright, let's go and get the changeling in. It does mean they're not going to monstrosity, though. It's 6 mana. And we'll go ahead and run this thing out. And I don't think we run the goblin out. I'd rather recruit the worthy and then tap down a creature here. Because they would have to pre-combat monstrosity if they want to attack. That's not necessarily true either. Alright, so if they just go for... Oh no! This card is so messed up. It just exiles all of my creatures. Oh, come on. Each creature... Yeah, and it doesn't target, so I can't shelter. Oh, come on. This card's not fair. This is not fair. I mean, I get a bunch of lands, but I have nothing now. Oh, jeez. Nothing I can do about that, right? If I recruit now, then... Yeah, come on. Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they're going to attack me for 3, 6, 7, 8. I do get to kill this Watcher if they just jam with it. Yeah, now I'm definitely going to die to these Chiller Pillars. Well, we got beat by one of the unfair cards. 6 mana to exile all of your opponent's creatures. They get a bunch of lands, but they have nothing, so whatever. Battle Screeches, I don't think are going to do the trick here, but it is something. It is something. 1, 2, 3, Battle Screech. Oh, 4. All right, let's see if we can pull something out here. And then I can recruit 1, 2, 1. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we can Battle Screech again. Not sure holding up Shelter does anything. Cast that. Opponent still has 4 cards in hand. Just going to go ahead and play a Putrid Goblin here. Yeah, when I go to DC, this is what I want to open. First off, you can just cast it for 2 mana and exile anything, which is already kind of good. They get a land, sure. So Sorcery Speed, Path to Exile. And then for 6 mana, just no, like, come on. Look what it just did. I actually had a chance to win this game, and now I don't because they had a bomb. All right, let's go ahead and just play this Putrid Goblin. I'm not getting anywhere by holding up Shelter here. Here we were, having a fun game. All right, well, thankfully that doesn't change very much, and I guess they can still mill here. Enduring Sliver into Plains, don't do anything. It's also possible my deck's just like bad or something. Alright, so they can... Yeah, this is fine. I mean, not fine. I don't think I have a way to kill them, especially when they still have 3 cards in hand. So I'm just going to go ahead and block here. If I go for anything more than that, they'll Monstrosity that one, and I'll just lose stuff unnecessarily. They could let this through for 3, or they can go ahead and get in for 5. And cast in something else. Geez, Pondering Mage too. Cast Ponder when it enters the battlefield. And for some reason, it's a 3/4 for 5 in blue, which is just big for this like normal human wizard. I mean, I can make a bunch of Recruit the Worthy things. Alright, well, I don't think I get anywhere by holding everything back. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to chump 1 Chiller Pillar. If I attack for 4, actually... Yeah, if I attack with all 4, then they can only Monstrosity one of these. I can cast this 3 times. I don't know. Maybe there's hope. Like, I can block Chiller Pillars forever with Recruit the Worthy. And I'm going to cast this once now, just to guarantee I have another blocker on board in case they do have a counterspell. There aren't a lot of counterspells in the set, but... maybe I should cast it a second time if that's my reasoning, and then hold it in case Shelter for some reason is a better thing to do. Of course, the problem here is that if they Monstrosity a Chiller Pillar and don't attack with it, actually get... I can't really attack too profitably with my birds. Choking Tethers on those. Okay. Sure, so block, take 3. Just straight up cast in Choke and Tethers. And they might have a counterspell in hand. They know I have Recruit the Worthy. They could have like Spell Snuff, the cancel with Fateful Hour or whatever. This is not resolving immediately, so... I guess they could also like let this resolve and then bounce the token or something. Okay, what are we casting? Prohibit. Counter target spell if its converted mana cost is 2. Oh, it is 2. The buyback does not add to the converted mana cost. Oh, okay, so I'm just dead, right? Because that's countered. I don't get to buy it back. All right, well, I'm not happy with dying to a bomb rare, but it is good to know that that card is just like ridiculous. And I went 1 and 3 or 1 and 2. My deck ultimately was not that great. It just wasn't a synergistic deck. And while I think the draft went well, I just didn't get hooked up for being in my archetype, which is black-white changelings. And maybe I was supposed to give a different direction or something along those lines. I have no idea, but it's still good practice, even though I didn't do well and I lost to some ridiculous card that I really couldn't play around. And it feels so like safe when you have a Shelter in your hand. But that card doesn't interact favorably with Shelter, and I don't know what else I was supposed to do there. Plus, my opponent just had like the answer to my buyback card too, so they had the answer the entire way. And the first game, like, look how different the first and second game were. The first game they just like nut drew into the Soul Herder with the Watcher, and then second game they killed me. But we'll try more of these. It's still fun. It's still good practice. I need to, maybe play some Sealed. Ooh, what is Gauntlet? I have no idea what this is. All right, there's too much stuff going on. I'll figure that out on my own time. But yeah, we'll be playing more Modern Horizons, so be on the lookout for that. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and cut this video here. Thanks for watching. My name's Timothy with Mana Rocks. I appreciate you spending your time watching me get beat by people. And we'll see you guys next time.